Now it's my distinct pleasure to have the opportunity to welcome your new NAILBA CEO, Dan LaBert. Dan? Please. He is big, isn't he? This has been great. Welcome.
Hey, that was an awesome opening. Well done, Jim.
Thanks, brother. Means a lot. Means a lot. Hopefully, if nothing else come through, my passion for this business is so important, and your passion that I recognized really came through in this whole process. So I can't tell you how excited I am to have you here. So we wanted to try and introduce Dan to you as a group, and we thought if you want to call it a little fireside chat might be the best way to do so. So Dan, just give us a little background in your career, kind of how you got to this point.
Sure. First off, I want to thank you all for being here. This has been fantastic. I hope it's an experience for you, and if not, we're going to make sure it is moving forward. The search committee was wonderful. NAILBA has a fantastic board of directors and a few really great study groups. They interviewed me unofficially. But my career spans 20 years of association work, legal, accounting, media, government, and beer. Obviously, the last one's a little bit more fun than accounting.
Lawyers, accountants, brokers, oh my. You're not an attorney or an accountant, correct?
Nope, I'm not an attorney, I'm not an accountant. I haven't stayed at a Holiday Inn. I'm not going to try and practice law. I definitely don't want to be an accountant. But I'm proud to say I'm an accomplished association executive. What I feel is associations need to be nimble, they need to be fast, they need to keep members updated, they need to create value. Thankfully, I've been blessed with good teams all across the country to work with, and I'm blessed to be in this position.
Now, we're really happy to have you here. How did you get into some of these past positions with the CPA Association, 22,000 CPAs, or God only knows 4,000 attorneys? Tell us about that.
22,000 CPAs. That's a fun party. Better yet, 4,000 bankruptcy attorneys. You want to talk about watching the bar bill? So it was not easy. I was thrown in the deep end of the pool. I worked for a gentleman by the name of Morton Blackwell, who is a descendant from the Reagan administration. He believes in hiring young, throwing you in the deep end of the pool. When you need help swimming, he helped me swim. It allowed me to learn how to be an executive, or the best advice I received from an attorney is, Dan, at some point you have to start being a professional, not just a college graduate. And that was my first year out of college. Penn State, by the way. We are. Bill Sheila, where are you? So I study leadership. I'm hands-on. I'm hands-off. I grew up in a coal region household. When the house was cold, you didn't put the heat on, you put a blanket on. I learned to adjust my association management style to adjust to our changing times, to changing memberships, changing events, getting people more involved. And thankfully, along the way, I was able to convince some really good people, and they gave me the keys to the car, and I didn't wreck it too bad.
I think you've done really well.
Thank you.
The beer industry, how did that all come into play? Now, you have to note, he's doing this part-time. Tell us about how you started this association, when you're doing your day job, right?
So,
these attorneys.
Association work, right? You're either into it or you're not. And I have a passion for association work. It's a wonderful time. But I had a general counsel approach me and say, you've been running associations that have been 100+ years old. How would you like to start an association? I said, sure. What is it? He goes, beer. I said, I'm in. Sadly, I was doing P90X at the time when I was a lot more svelte. Since that time, I'm not so svelte, but beer is fantastic. You know, it has sex appeal right now. It's one of the fastest growing industries in the country. I'm proud to represent every Pennsylvania brewer, so from Dick Yingling and Jim Cook, Sam Adams, 70% of their beer is made in Pennsylvania, to your small local brewers. And we generated a $1.2 billion impact on the state economy, and that was a lot more fun walking into the Senate Leadership House to talk about beer rather than talk about tax reform. So We did some things. It's been great, and they're wonderful people. And they actually align very well with NAILBA, from the manufacturing to the consumer, the industry organization. So it's prepared me well.
That's awesome. So obviously, see, he's got the entrepreneurial side that I think is really important to us. The other thing that he did, and Dan, if you tell us a little bit about this, I've got a soft spot in my heart for military, ex-military especially. And you started FWA Consultants as a speakers bureau.
I did.
Once again, part-time, while he's doing all these other things. Tell us a little bit about the speakers and what you did, and I'm just so impressed.
It's not because my wife didn't like me. She likes me. I have a 10-year-old little girl. She's a figure skater. She's wonderful. I hope you all to meet her. She has my personality, so she'll walk up and shake your hand if you don't. But I'm an entrepreneur, and in the association world, and NAILBA knows this well, you have to deal with speakers bureaus, and they charge quite the honorarium for processing paperwork, and it's a lot of money, and I got tired of it. And thankfully, along the way, as my wife said, you produce nothing tangible. It's your Rolodex that counts. Well, lo and behold, in my Rolodex was an individual who represented General Anthony Zinni. For those of you who don't know General Zinni, he was head of Central Command. He's written a best-selling book with Tom Clancy. He's been the chair of BAE Systems. And I had him come out to a group and speak, and he was wonderful. And this individual who we'll just keep his story out of it. I'd tell you, but I really would have to kill you. He's a great guy, and he did have that background. But he exposed me to General Conway, head of the Marine Corps, General Buster Hagenbach, head of West Point, and then for many of you who follow current events, General James Mattis, wonderful individual, SecDef 26, and General Kelly, former Homeland Security Director, now Chief of Staff for the White House. It's probably one of the few groups of people that I've learned to shut up and listen, and their insight is amazing. So I've been blessed with being in their Rolodex and them being in mine, and hopefully we'll be able to leverage that moving forward.
That's awesome. Once again, just a great story. So what the selection committee saw in Dan were things like leadership, entrepreneurial spirit, doing things differently than ever before, and flat out just generating results, which is what all of us look for in our businesses and look for in change in the industry. So Dan, the last question I have, why NAILBA? I mean, you're coming out of these other industries. What attracted you to this job?
Why not NAILBA? Did you
That's
see
my line.
what took place up here? Why wouldn't I want to be a part of that? I mean, throw in some beer and it's a heck of a party. NAILBA's fantastic. It interested me because it's about family. I mean, second generation, third generation BGAs. Jack Chason left me a great team, left me a great foundation. Had the opportunity to meet Jack last night. I know now why you all like him. Wonderful human being. Welcomed me as the new guy and said, now it's your problem. But NAILBA aligns with my core roots, with what I've done in my career. I was able to connect with a lot of the board of directors, past chairs, and I was able to convince a lot of smart people who have dedicated their time and leadership to this organization that I'm the person to chart the new path for NAILBA. And I said, I'm happy to do that, but I will only do that while preserving the traditions of NAILBA. So we chart a new path, we preserve the integrity of the past, and we get more involved. And you're going to see changes. You're going to see a lot of changes. The carriers, the exhibitors, the sponsors who support this event, you'll be hearing from me. But to say thank you, because without you, this event doesn't happen. The BGAs, your membership value will be improving. I can't tell you how just yet. I'm only on the job about 3 weeks. I know where to park. I know where the bathrooms are. I know the first names of most staff, and there's a great deli in the office. So I'm on my way. I sent my voicemail up a few weeks ago, but it will be changing. Why? Because everywhere I've been, I've made that promise, and it will happen. So give me time. Get involved. Be a part of it. Buy in. Enjoy the ride.
Wow. Right?
Thank you.
Can you see why I'm so excited? This guy's a winner. Perfect time, perfect place, perfect individual. So I've been gushing over Dan since he started. I'm a believer, and hopefully spend time with him. He wants to talk and hear from all of you, and he will be reaching out. He's already has to many of you already. So, Dan, any closing thoughts here you'd like to leave the crowd with, or Penn State, beer, anything else?
That's only for Bill Sheila and I. No, thank you. Give me a chance. Watch what happens. Get your full staff involved. Let's not bottleneck the agencies and only have the head of the agency involved. We will create opportunities for NAILBA to play a role, to position itself strategically, that we help with your bottom line and we train your staffs. And we'll figure out the annual show moving forward. I understand everyone's not a fan of some locations, but it'll always be a good party.
We'll fix that too. Dan, I can't thank you enough. Thanks for listening. Please, please come and talk to our new leader. Dan, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Jim.
Thanks for awesome stuff.